the fiat system, just breeds hate and division no matter where you look at it. It funds wars, it funds genocides, it funds division, it funds hatred, it funds all sorts of insanity. Why? Because it keeps you distracted from who's behind all of this shit. It keeps you distracted from looking up at who's controlling the strings, right? So until you had something, that beacon of truth, that option, that valid option that casts a spotlight on this, we would have never known. We would have always trying to find an answer from within the same problem, right? Which is why I was laughing when I was at the Nomad Capitalist, where I heard, well, if your bank is terrible, just go find another bank. No, for me, it was almost comical to hear it. I'm like, what are you saying? Another bank is not the solution. The solution is to leave the fucking bank and become self-sovereign, holding your own money, living on your own terms. You don't need anyone. Like you're not dumb to learn the 7 steps, right? You just first of all need to be aware that that option is a valid one and is available to you. And then either you learn it yourself or you seek the help of an expert to teach you in a very short period of time. Bitcoin circular economies are going to become insanely valuable and precious. And we're already starting to see this. We live in a Bitcoin circular economy. We invite like-minded individuals organically. They find us, we find them, and everybody lives together. Everybody's always naturally willing to help and go out of their way to assist and, shine that beacon of truth to someone who is struggling, right? This is the nature of true Bitcoiners, not the fake ones that are shilling Bitcoin treasuries and ETFs and all that other fucking garbage. Those you ignore. Those are number go up fucking bullshit. True Bitcoiners care about humanity, and they will teach you the skills to become sovereign.
Are we going the path where we still have fiat, but we have a freedom option of Bitcoin? Or is fiat collapsing, not in the sense of like it's going down a lot in value, but just like completely vanishing from Earth? I switch between those like almost every other day because there's, for me, a lot of, there's this one thing on the one side where I'm like, these fiat systems are so bad, but still people do it. And the network effects are just so big, and the governments and the central banks really don't want to give up any control. But at the same time, when they lose more and more of the purchasing power, and we're already seeing that in the last 16 years towards Bitcoin, even though it's still very, very small, 2 trillion is nothing against the 1,000 trillions that are out there. I think we will probably end up in a Bitcoin world. But especially from someone that lived through that fiat collapse, I would be interested in, like, do you think that we will have a world where Bitcoin is a huge option and also dominating in the asset space, but there are also government tokens, or is there like all those government tokens kind of vanish because only Bitcoin really has value?
No, I think they're going to exist for a while. We're going to coexist with fiat simply because fiat's been around for such a long time. And the main obstacle to that utopian world that you're describing isn't Bitcoin itself, it's people. Like how fast people understand and adopt this. That's really where the delay comes in. You can already live on a Bitcoin standard. I mean, fiat can exist, but as I said earlier, it's once you understand Bitcoin, fiat is optional. Like I don't have a bank account. I've never had a bank account since they stole my bank account, so I don't want one anymore. You don't have to live in that world. You deal with it when you have to. Like, let's say you have a fiat bill you have to pay. Sure, okay, you sell some of your Bitcoin, you pay it, and then you don't look back. So I think we're going to live in a parallel world where you have, Bitcoin circular economies or economies in general that are just thriving. Countries are even adopting Bitcoin, to pay for public services and what have you. So depending where you live, at some point, even though fiat exists, you may not notice, or you'll probably forget about it because it's not within your everyday life circle. People ask me, so how do you live on a Bitcoin standard if it's not everywhere yet? Well, look, it's very easy. First of all, there are thousands of merchants today that accept Bitcoin as payment. So yes, you may have to do a little bit of research depending where you are, but every week, every month, like hundreds of merchants come online that accept Bitcoin. And if you live in I guess certain countries, stores, you walk in and you can pay them immediately in Bitcoin. So that's one. The other way to do it is that there are on and off ramps now that give you debit cards, Visa, MasterCard, what you're normally accustomed to, except you you load them up with your Bitcoin. And so you go on in the world, tap, 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 buying whatever it is that you want. In the background, that on ramp, that off ramp is selling your Bitcoin that you've loaded into that local currency to pay for the item. So when you can pay for Bitcoin natively, you do it. In the events that you can't, you use these cards. Eventually, like for example, in my case, my Fiat rails, I use them very, very, like significantly less than I used to like three years ago, because all my world now is almost 100% Bitcoin. At the Bitcoin way, we only accept Bitcoin. We only pay out in Bitcoin. We have never had a single penny in fiat in or out of the Bitcoin way. So, and there's more companies adopting that same, strategy. And as time progresses, I suspect more people are going to, as they learn these skills, they're going to follow the same, the same playbook, because that is real money. I had a story that I mentioned a long time ago with a barber. Like this was like four years ago. And he was just, buzzing my head, as funny as that sounds. And I told him, do you accept Bitcoin? He's like, no, I don't understand this. It's not my thing. Leave me alone. I'm like, why don't you accept it? It's very easy. I'll show you. It takes 2 minutes. No, no, no. I'm like, listen to me. I'll pay you 2 times. I'll give you your $10, for your haircut, and I'll give you another $10 in Bitcoin. Just do me that favor and just, humor me and learn the process. And he did. And he's like, but who's going to pay me here? I'm like, well, I don't know who's going to pay you. Tell people that you accept it. He's like, but nobody here pays me. I'm like, all right, let's find out. So I went back home and I had the little stickers, that Bitcoin accepted here. And I came and I stuck it on his on his door. And then I left, like I didn't see him for like almost a year. And when I came back one day, I was in the neighborhood and I stumbled upon him, and we recognized each other, and he was so excited. He's like, come, come. I'm like, hey, how's it going, man? It's a long time no see. How you been? He's like, me, fantastic. Why? He's like, and he goes and he opens up the wallet. And you know how much he had? This was back in 2019, 2020. He had almost 1 Bitcoin from selling haircuts. Do you understand? Like his most expensive haircut was like maybe $15. Maybe. I don't know. I'm like, how many fucking haircuts did you sell to get to almost 1 Bitcoin? Now, granted, back then Bitcoin was like in the 19,000 or something like this. It wasn't like where it's at now. But still, at 10 to 15, dollars a pop, how many people paid him just because of that one sticker? So from that day on, he's like, please teach me everything. Now he's, air gapped. He's on running a node. He's starting to invest his own money. Now he's up to like 4 or 5 Bitcoin. And this is like your everyday barber.
People see Bitcoin as a luxury item for high net worth individuals. And I'm like, no, yes, it is also for high net worth individuals, but especially for the common man. Like that's something you have to have. Otherwise, you will be from a common man, you will be a poor man one day.
Yeah, Bitcoin is savings technology. Like you don't have to go out and buy 1 Bitcoin from the first shot in order to have it. Just start saving. I think of it as like your piggy bank. Instead of saving in your local currency, which is like losing value every day, start saving in real money, which is appreciating in value every day. So whatever the amount, just keep adding to it. Like instead of spending $50 on some stupid thing that you don't need, save it. Like it really rewires your appreciation of value, right? Like, I mean, do I really need this? Probably not. Let me save it. Over time, you'll see that your net worth, your purchasing power is like, holy shit, where did that come from? Well, it's because now you're a more in-tuned human being with what value really is. And that's what Bitcoin sort of like reprograms every one of us to be like, right? So Bitcoin is not an investment. It's not a risk-on asset. It's not a dangerous asset. It's the safest play. It just seems like this if you're measuring it from a failing system, right? It's the fiat that's up and down. The Bitcoin, 1 Bitcoin is 1 Bitcoin forever. That never changes. And don't be misled by small numbers, which is also something I hear very often. Like, oh, I have such a insignificant amount, it doesn't matter. I'm like, all right, so how much do you have? Like a 0.1. I'm like, why is that a petty amount? It's because 0.1 is like it's a stupid little number on the screen. I'm like, okay, well, if you like big numbers, convert it to Satoshis. Now you have a bigger number. And they're like, what do you mean? Well, one Bitcoin is 100 million Satoshi. So what's the point 10? Convert it. You'll have more zeros on your screen if that makes your day. It opens up the conversation to understand that that's not how it works. Bitcoin scarcity represents a purchasing power unlike anything we've ever known. So if you're in Bitcoin today in 2025, whatever amount of Bitcoin you have is already probably going to be more than you'll ever need once enough of the global population understands that this is their only way out of hell. So hold on to it. That's the key, though. Learn how to use it in self-custody. Forget about the numbers. Think of it as a saving. Whatever you have that you can spare, save it. Don't look back. Go out, provide value into the world, earn your income, save it in real money.
Thank you for watching this video. This was only a snippet of the podcast. And if you want to watch the full episode and get all of the context of this episode, you can click right here or here. Oh, maybe also here.